Okay, so the NHS has produced a poster which came across on the British and Global Muslims for Secular Democracy, and the general feeling there was it's a nonsense. It's just ridiculous in its sort of pitch. So this poster is basically saying microaggressions that harm BME colleagues. So I assume this is an internal thing between NHS staff, but I have a few issues with this. First of all, I'm going to read out the little speech bubbles that they have put as what they would constitute microaggressions, and this is under the NHS Constitution. So it's obviously an internal thing um, for people who work in the NHS. I'm going to read out the questions that they have quoted and then share my thoughts. Okay, I do not see colour. Can I pet your hair? Does it get warm wearing so many clothes? Where are you from? Where are you from? No, where are you really from? You're not like other Muslim people. Your name is hard to pronounce. Can I call you Jennifer? Will you have to get an arranged marriage? When was the last time you went home? You speak English so well. Why do you sound so white? Are your partner's parents okay about you? Do your family know you have a white boyfriend? Okay, so this is the questions that they're putting on the poster which are determined to be microaggressions. Let me just say to be very clear, some of those questions clearly are rude. There's no question about it. If I was a black person, or if I was a visible minority, I'd be annoyed by some of those questions. But I think that some of this is maybe scraping the barrel. I think maybe there have been one or two examples of those questions asked. So does that really justify a guidance poster? I mean, surely this treats BME people like children who can't stand up for themselves. And let's look at some of these questions. Um, okay, can I pet your hair? That's clearly rude, asking if you could touch someone else's hair. It's a bit, I suppose it's one of those things that depends how you ask it, but it's a little bit, silly and patronizing. Assume that means referring to Afro hair. Um, your name is hard to pronounce. Can I call you Jennifer? I think they're really scraping the barrel with that one. I think there are very few people actually say something like that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you really from? Right. Where are you really from is definitely rude because it insinuates a person isn't being truthful. But where are you from? How the hell is that a microaggression? Surely it's just a normal conversation question. Let's say you meet someone at a party, you start talking to them. I often ask that question. I'll ask what their name is, then I might say, "Oh, where are you from, by the way? Or where are you originally from?" I really don't see how that is a microaggression. And if it is, if it's determined to be, then my follow up is, well, what question isn't offensive? Surely where are you from is just a point of making a connection. So, for example, someone could say, "Oh, I'm from Leeds." I could say, "Oh, I've been to Leeds a few times. Yeah, I like the Kirkgate Market. I like the butterfly farm there." It's just a way of making conversation. Now, where are you really from? That obviously is rude. Let's see, what else do we have here? You're not like other Muslim people. Again, that really depends on the way which it is said. On the surface, it does sound a bit rude. I mean, some of these sound that, a bull in a china shop there are a bit blunt. Um, but here's the thing. Why do BME people need this sort of poster? Why can't people just stand up for themselves? I mean, if someone feels that a question is rude, they have the option to not answer it, to ignore it, or to just tell the person, "Sorry, I don't like the way you've asked that." But having these guidelines, wrapping people in cotton wool this way, it's just sort of politically correct crap that, frankly, I think causes a lot more division by making conversation, by making dialogue so sensitive. I mean, yes, I definitely regard some of these questions as, well, here's one. I do not see color. Surely, that would be something whereby the person is trying to insist that they're not racist and trying a bit too hard. But that just shows how perhaps white people feel that they need to walk on eggshells. Um, why do you sound so white? I have never heard anyone ask that question. I mean, and here's another thing. It's also insinuating that BME people themselves, just for those who don't know, that's black minority ethnic, that BME people themselves cannot also ask rude questions. I mean, some of my Chinese friends, I've kind of had to politely say to them, look, you don't really say that in the UK, because they can be actually inadvertently quite blunt when it comes to racial issues. Um, so I just think that this is yet another example of the PC mob trying to control how other people think. It's just, I mean, look, I think people should be a little bit thoughtful when they're asking questions to strangers. Of course they should. And asking to touch someone's hair, yeah, that's clearly, out of place. But my goodness, does the NHS really have to be producing a poster over this? I just think that's sad. I think it's sad that, and if that was some sort of lobby group that was demanding this, I would say, they need to get over themselves. If someone has asked a question and they feel the question's rude, just say to the person, I'm sorry, that's none of your business or something like that. But a poster, a guideline poster over microaggressions, I mean, that insinuates the person asking the question is intending to be aggressive. It's bullshit. And it's politically correct nonsense like this that just works up a lot of people and causes, in my view, more division in society.